Hey guys, it's the Naya Reacts TV with another episode. So today we are going to jump into a TikTok. Well, a man who was married for 15 years and has been sterile his whole life, but has 3 kids. Wonder what we're gonna learn.
Worst fear. I wish to God this was a skit, but it's not. Let's let it play.
All right, the doctor walks in and tells me I'm in good health, but I'm sterile. I'm like, what you talking about I'm sterile? I got 3 kids. I don't make no damn sense to me. I don't understand I'm sterile. I don't know. It blows my mind. You know, I got 3 kids. One's 15, one's 12, one's 7. So I'm like, I don't understand that. So anyway, I go home and I just start thinking, it's gotta be my kids. But I started thinking about the fact that every time we watch like those Ancestry.com commercials, they come on and my wife kind of always turns the channel. I'm like, why you always turn it? I notice you always turn the channel. She's like, those are stupid. They don't even work. And I'm like, anyway, I started really thinking. I'm like, if I'm sterile, and the doctor said I've always been sterile. It's not like something that it's always been genetically since I was born. I started thinking, I'm like, man, I'm going to have to go ahead and get these kids tested. You know, I really didn't want to. I wanted to believe that my wife wouldn't do this to me, but I have to get my kids tested. So I secretly get a little sample of all of them. I go to the damn, the Ancestry.com place or whatever. And anyway, get them tested. Then I think about this. My wife got a birthday coming up. We got to throw this big birthday bash. We already even planned on it. So, basically I got the whole birthday bash planned. And then basically what happens is I get all of our families there, birthday bash. I get the popular mixologist in town. Chief of police comes because he works with my wife sometimes at our company. So chief of police, this whole big thing, because I want to make a big splash. It's a birthday, you see? So what ends up happening at a certain point, we bring the big birthday cake out. You know the old big birthday cakes you see on the movies? Got one of those big ones. And then I had a woman come out and she held up the sign that said, "You lying bee." And it blew everyone's mind. It blew her mind. What is this about? What is this about? And I was like, you know what? What this is about? No. It's about the fact that this mixologist is his son. Hey, let me meet your daddy right here. I straight up had to tell him, this is your dad. Chief police, hey, this is your... That was
Wow. This is crazy. Like, married for 15 years, has 3 children, a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 7-year-old. This man finds out that he is sterile, meaning that he cannot have kids. There's no possible way for him to have kids. Whatever that visit or the doctor told him made him realize that he needs to go get his kids tested. And this man was married to this lady for 15 years and his children are not his. Unbelievable. One of those things where, and this is not the first time I've heard a story like this. Someone had shared something like this with me before. It wasn't him, it was a different guy. And the other guy, he was a lot more upset than this man. But I don't get it. I think it's the idea of women, married or not, just wanting more. Nothing is good enough. She's married. She has a husband. And that's not good enough for her. So she has to sleep with someone else to, and not only that, but impregnate her. That just is just a level of disrespect. You don't even respect your husband enough to wrap that thing up, baby. You out here raw dogging and you are married.
So 15-year-old mixologist, that's his daddy. Chief police, 12-year-old, that's his daddy.
So let me make sure I'm hearing this right. And y'all drop in the comments. I want to hear y'all opinion on this too. I want to hear what y'all have to say, honey, because I'm almost speechless. Like, I don't even know what to fully say. I'm processing it as I go, but y'all drop in the comments what y'all think. But so the 15-year-old is what, the chief of police is? No, the mixologist, the mixologist who came to the party. That's his son. And the 12-year-old is the chief of police. Guys. And I used to be like, and I used to think when I was younger, like when I was in my early 20s, I used to think like, you know, because I used to have guy friends. I grew up with a guy best friend from middle school all the way to high school. And then when I got to college, I had a guy best friend in church. And then when I met my ex-husband, he was just like, you can't be friends with him anymore. And I used to think like, why? Like, that's my friend. Like, we're not attracted to each other. We're just friends. But after years went by, even after we divorced, I understood why. Men are different than women. Sometimes we can be so innocent, even though sometimes we not. Most times we aren't. But guys are very visual. Friends are not. And guys had to explain to me, like, usually when guys try to befriend you, they have some sort of level of attraction to you. It's not always 100%, because I know that there are some guys who have girl best friends that they are not attracted to, but most times men are. And I don't know if she was friends with the chief of police and told her husband, oh, that's my friend. This is someone that I work with, and the mixologist. Guys, be careful. Be careful. If you're dealing with a woman and y'all are on that path of marriage and she has a guy best friend, be careful. Be careful. And I'm saying this as if my son is a grown man and I have brothers. Like, I'm speaking like that. Like, be careful of these women that you are dealing with, to make sure that they're not having any sort of relationship with anyone other than you. If it's not strictly platonic, you got to tell her. Y'all can't be friends. And ladies, the moment that you are married, even engaged, you have to cut ties with men out of respect for your husband. Again, out of respect for your husband, you have to do it.
And I mean, I was hurt. I was hurt. I mean, I was so hurt. I just had to decide. I decided I just had to sleep in my car. Man, I couldn't be in this house. I couldn't be around her. Just all these lies. I mean, I've been raising these kids for 15 years. There's no way they're mine. They're not. I'm sterile. Like.
And I don't blame him. I really don't. And just looking at him too, it just seemed like he's just been going through a lot on his face. Like that has to be horrifying, to know the children that you raised, that you kept a roof over the head, you provided for, you worked hard for, are not yours. I know that's not easy. And I really feel for him.
So basically, I just, you know, I'm in my car, sleeping in my car, going to work, doing the normal thing I do. And I just was, you know, running into different issues and felt the need that I needed to go. I really needed to go back to church. You know, I just really wanted to do that. And was getting some good, like the preacher and a lot of different people giving me some good advice and some good guidance, kind of helping me to understand that, you know, it's not the kids' fault. You know, you've been there for the kids, you know what I mean? And, you know, then I start finding out there's some problems. Kids are having problems in school because their dad's not there. They used to having their dad.
And this is good that he really sought after the Lord after this, because this is, like I said, it's not easy. Something like this can be really traumatic. And the fact that he went to church to seek the Lord, or whoever he sought, I don't know if it was Jesus or whomever, he just sought something more spiritual, you know, is really good. So I commend him for that, because I know that can be hard when you're going through things like this. The first thing, you know, isn't to go to church, it's to react. But the fact that he took some time to think about it and to seek the Lord is a really good thing. And children, you know, he mentioned that they have behavioral problems. Like, ladies, be careful of what you do. Don't be so self-centered that you are forgetting about your marriage, which is, marriage is not what modernized culture has made it to be. Modernized culture has made marriage to be something so unsacred, so casual. It's almost like casually dating. Like, you decide that you love somebody one day, y'all get married, and then the next y'all divorce. That is not the plan of God when it comes to marriage. Marriage is so sacred. It's so pure. It's something that God created as a symbol of our covenant with Jesus, our covenant with the Lord. And when you defile that through adultery, through breaking your vows, you're ultimately breaking your vows to the Lord. You're breaking your vows to God. And we have to see it that way in order for us to have a healthy perspective when it comes to marriage. We have to see it beyond ourselves. We can't look at it as a selfish point of view, because there's going to be times where you're going to be unhappy. There's going to be times where your husband wants to be with another woman. There's going to be times where you don't feel attractive enough. And when you find a man other than your husband who makes you feel all of these things that you've never felt for years, you want to give in. You want to submit to your flesh. You want to do what your flesh wants. But you have to have such a solid relationship with the Lord where when you feel like that, you have to go before God and ask him to help you, because he will. And I know I'm getting a little spiritual here, but somebody needs to hear this so that you can prevent things like this, because it will affect your children. And a lot of us are like, oh, they'll get over it. It's okay. You may think that, but many of children's upbringing, the way that they view life, starts at home. So if they see that their mama cheated on their dad, and that's not even your dad, like your dad is the chief of police, someone that you weren't in the house with, someone that you don't even know that well, that's going to affect how they step into relationships. And we're going to repeat this cycle over and over again. Are we tired of generational curses? Are we tired of doing things over and over again? We're not going anywhere. Don't we want better for our children? So ladies, think twice before you do some foolishness like this.
15 years, I hadn't been there, you know, so I start going back, you know, being there for my kids and everything like that or whatever. But I have to let her know. I'm like, I don't know if we can work this out. I don't know. I mean, possibly, but I'm here for my kids. I'm going to try to be here for my kids because I feel like it's the right thing to do. It's what God wants me to do, you know, and I think it's the best thing to do. So that's what I decided to do. Later on, and find out, because I have a 7-year-old. We didn't know who his dad was. So basically, after a certain amount of time with the Ancestry.com, like other people will get tested and everything like that or whatever. And then I got an alert from the email alert. And I'm like, really? So we kind of find out that it's just NBA Hall of Famers. I'm like.
So this woman, and while I was watching this, I was like, Sanaya, you probably was being a little too harsh. I know sometimes I can go straight to it. I'm like, you know, you can't fully judge people. But this woman is completely out of order. Completely. You had not one child outside of your marriage, not 2 children outside of your marriage, but 3. You have 3 different baby daddies, and you are married to one person for 15 years. At this point, I don't care. You're probably saying, oh, Sanaya, she probably was going through some stuff. Maybe her husband wasn't making her feel good. Maybe her husband wasn't doing this and that. Let me tell you, and this is something that you ladies need to take note of. A man cannot make you happy. If you are not happy with yourself, a man will never be able to make you happy. Never. So before you step into marriage, before you even start dating, you need to take a reflect. You need to sit down long and hard and think about, are you really happy with yourself? Or does a man make you happy? Or the idea of being with a man make you happy? Because if the answer is yes, you need to do a lot of work before you get married. Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And then we want to come and bash men and say, oh, there's no good men out here. Men are trash. Men are this and that. But then we have women who are doing some foolishness like this. But y'all don't want to talk about the women. Oh, I will. Because we holding everybody accountable on this channel, baby. Men and women. And this right here is unacceptable. So make sure that you are happy with yourself. If you are not happy with yourself, seek the Lord. Number one. I'm not even going to say therapy first. Seek the Lord. Whatever you believe in, Allah, whatever. Seek God. And I'm not going to say whatever because I believe in Jesus. But seek God. Because once you seek him, he will show you who you are. And he will help you change that bad image of who you are. We all have flaws. Every single one of us. But guess what? We have to be held accountable on how we change our image. How we turn the bad to good. We are held accountable for that. No one else. So ladies, please make sure that you are happy with yourself. Please work on your character. Because this is unacceptable.
Like, I was tripping. I'm like, this can't be the case. I go and ask her. I'm like, who's his dad? She's like, yes, that's his. I'm like, because my son. I mean, man, my son, he can ball. I mean, he can ball, and I ain't got no athletic skills, you know. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, me and my wife are still trying to work things out. I moved back in.
That's a good man right there. And I say he's a good man because he's fighting for his marriage, and y'all can call him crazy, whatever. That's a good man who is trying to do the right thing, who is trying to fight for his marriage, even though his wife is dead wrong. Forgiveness, because Jesus, if that lady goes to the Lord and repents, Jesus will forgive her. So her husband, that's a good man. That's a man that she should be proud to be married to. He may not be doing all the things that all these other men have been doing in the bed that she got pregnant with, or made her feel the way that those other men have. But this is a good man. The fact that he is willing to fight for his marriage, willing to look past all of that, even though she had 3 children that are not his, says a lot about this man. God is pleased with this man. I can see.
Back in, but we ain't in the same room. Luckily we have multiple rooms. I'm there for my kids, even though they're not my kids, but they are my kids. I mean, I'm there for my kids. I'm the only father they know. So I've been doing the best that I can with this whole situation.
So what can we learn from this whole entire situation? Ladies, work on yourself before you get into a relationship, not even marriage. Figure out, are you happy with yourself? Do you have good character? If someone was to, your closest friend, your co-workers, If someone was just to randomly survey your closest friend, your coworkers, your family members, what would they say about you? What would they say about your character? Would they say, oh, she gossips a lot, she always saying this and that? Would they say that about you? If so, you need to work on yourself. Would they say, oh, you know, she be stealing, you know, supplies from the office every now and then? If they say that, you have character flaws. If they say, oh, you know, she be lying, you know, on her taxes. She lied on her taxes one year. You have character flaws. Again, we all have some sort of flaw in our life. We all do, but it's all about how you make a positive change. You have to course correct yourself. You have to accept accountability for your own actions. No one else is responsible for you. One day when you meet the Lord and you stand before him, it's not going to be you and someone else. It's going to be you and the Lord face to face. He's going to ask you, what have you done with the time that I have given you? And you have to stand and be accountable. So work on yourself, ladies. Until next time.